him because he had lied and that break there, and he was trying a little while on that first segment. Our first segment is like a cleanup, and then I'll bring you in, and you can adjust the mic. Be sitting right here, and then Marsha will be right here. And then when I bring the deplorables in, Marsha can sit over there, and two deplorable girls can sit there, and I'll keep you there. And then who else is there? Marsha's husband. If he wants to sit down, he can sit down over there. And you're reading the Federalist Papers now, right?
Yeah, I just started. It's gonna take a few times more to read because the verbiage back then is a lot different now and everything. So yeah, I'm reading and then get sidetracked and have to come back to it.
Well, I'll save my questions for the show, so I only lost my questions here.
Sure.
So that's the Cocotazo Award. Let's see.
All right, about 3 minutes after the news break.
We need to have a Republican in the United States Senate to vote on things like Supreme Court justices, other appointments that the Senate has to confirm and make major decisions.
Fox's Peter Ducey, a leading figure among religious liberals, is speaking out against Republican Roy Moore. The Reverend William Barber led a rally against Roy Moore. Partridge Family star David Cassidy is suffering from multiple organ failure at a Florida hospital. His representative has confirmed the report. The 67-year-old David Cassidy was admitted to the unidentified facility in Florida earlier this week. A spokesperson says that Cassidy is conscious and surrounded by his family. Multiple media reports say the singer's liver and kidney were failing and that he needed a transplant. Legendary rock band AC/DC announced that guitarist and co-founding member Malcolm Young has died at the age of 64. Malcolm Young had been battling dementia since 2014.
Who is that?
Malcolm and his brother, guitarist Angus Young, founded AC/DC in 1973. AC/DC was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Put on some Back in Black, George.
Huh?
Put on some Back in Black in honor of AC/DC.
Black and Black. What?
Yeah.
I don't. AT. I don't understand.
George wants to listen to country music.
I do listen to country.
I know you do.
So who died?
Somebody from AC/DC.
Oh, AC/DC. I've probably heard some of their songs.
Oh yeah, you know them here.
So it's a person from AC/DC. What's their name?
I forgot already.
Oh.
Malcolm. Yeah, Malcolm. Angus. Angus' brother. Oh, Angus is his brother. That's those two first. I forget the last name, George, but it's Malcolm. Malcolm Young.
Malcolm Young?
1 minute. Yeah.
From AC/DC?
Yep.
So we'll send our condolences. Okay.
Son, you grab the door.
Yeah, she could sit, anywhere.
Yeah, I'll be comfortable now. Is it here?
Yeah. And then I'll get Marsha. She's not here.
She's out there.
How many minutes? One?
Oh, you're about 20 seconds now.
Another story about a panda, but he too had a tough time keeping his composure. The comical moment gaining traction on social media.
Okay. I think she's coming.
Fox News.
I'm Debbie Hanley, Fox News Radio.
All right, stand by, George. All right, here we go.
Because he knows me, that's why.
George, you ready to rock?
Ready.
It's 4 p.m. and time for the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio PFM.
Your amigos in salsa are in the Gente now. Jorge Ortiz, Alice Lara, the only woman in radio who makes sense.
Welcome to the Chips and Salsa, and she is the only woman in radio to make sense, but she's not here today. It's only me, El Alacran, Jorge, your host today for the Chips and Salsa show. Alice had to leave town with her husband for their father-in-law is not feeling well, going through some medical issues, but she'll be back next week. In the meantime, I will be here with my fantastic guest, Bart Miller, ex-military, and he reads the Constitution, believe it or not, and he'll talk a little bit about that. And he's been in Iraq for a couple of tours, and so we're honored to have him as a guest. And my friend Marcia Hill, that's her cousin, yay! And so we have her on the table too. So I'm gonna ask her a few questions. You know, she's always full of insight. Manning the camera there is Secret Sonia, our associate producer, and our social media Facebook director's in here. She had to work. That's Dion, the divine Dion. We do have Julian Ellison manning our board, our technical director here at the studios of Central City Radio, and with that, we have some news that I want to tie up on a little bit. Everybody's heard about Roy Moore's, predicament. Women coming out of the woodwork, accusing him of 40 years of wrongdoing 40 years ago, with no evidence, but maybe a yearbook signature or something that they say he signed, and he denies it. He's denied all the allegations. But we do have a Democrat. We already had Bill Clinton, all the women that accused him, and of course the Democrats covered it all up and rolled the wagons around him. He got impeached, but still, people seem to forget everything he did. We have Mr. Al Franken, who they even have pictures of him groping women, and the accuser. And another accuser just came out, I think it was Friday, and accused him also. But the one that they got evidence is a picture where he shows he's groping the girl while she's asleep. And so I guess he's going to go before the Congress, the Ethics Committee. They want to, before the Senate. They're asking for the ethics investigation. Roy Moore, they're saying if he's elected, he's going to go through ethics investigation. But to me, you're innocent until proven guilty. This country is a country of laws. I mean, the Democrats are trying to turn it upside down. And, you're guilty if you're a Republican, and you're innocent until proven guilty if you're a Democrat. And even if they find you guilty, you'll forget everything. Like when he was on the stand, I don't recall. A president of the United States, and he's got a heck of a memory, and he can't recall. And of course, Hillary covering it all up and calling the women bimbos and stuff. It's ridiculous. The Democrats, they turn things upside down. They make you try to think, and then the news media, of course, backs them up. I think that I don't know if the allegations are true or not regarding Judge Roy Moore, but he needs his day in court. He needs to face his accusers. That's what our country's all about. But we'll see what happens. And I think Alabama will elect him. It's going to be close, and I think it's going to come to the Congress when he gets sworn in, and see how they play that out. But Al Franken, he's got to go, and we'll see. They're already saying that President Clinton should have left office after the fact. 10, 15 years later. Of course, our president came back from Asia, did real good, and he represented our country. He's making America great again. Mm-hmm. He's done what other presidents have tried to do, couldn't do it well. He does things. When he went to the Middle East, he did it with style. He goes over here to Asia, he's doing it with style. you could see the way he does things. He believes in America. He will not put down America like our previous president, who always belittled America, made America seem second class, and made America. There's things we've done in the past. Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't have done, but all countries are guilty of it. He took it to that other extreme where he apologized for our country. You don't need to apologize for our country. Our country's done great things. The world wouldn't be where it's at now had it not been for our great country and our great soldiers that serve our great country. And everybody knows my son is in Japan serving, and our guest today has served, and kudos to all our servicemen and first responders. Of course, another thing that passed recently was the tax bill. It passed the House, and it's going before the Senate. Let's see if the Senate will do their job. They're already saying 4 senators are no votes, but I think the Johnson vote can be turned, and I also believe that Ron Paul's vote could probably be turned. Then you're looking at, well, no, Ron Paul, they're not sure about his vote, but he's like, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for it. It's McCain and another one there, what's her name? Corker, and we can afford to lose 2. We can't lose any more than 2, because then the vice president will step in and vote. We could turn a few Democrats. This bill is good for the people. Johnson is upset that the small businesses aren't getting the same break as the corporations. If you read into the bill, you understand it. Yeah, you could talk about a lot, and you could say something's wrong, but you got to read the fine print. Corporations do put a lot more money into the economy than do the small businesses. I do believe the small businesses do deserve a break, as well as the people. The people need more money in their pockets. The Democrats made it think that they were going to do everything for the middle class, for the lower class, and they didn't. Taxes kept going up. They want to increase taxes. Everything they talk about is increasing taxes. They love the Obamacare, where you had to pay a penalty if you didn't get the medical insurance. That's ridiculous. I don't think we should be forced to do anything. If you don't want insurance for your car, you don't get insurance, but you can't drive. Okay? Same thing with medical. If you don't want medical, then when you go, you might not get seen. But our country, we do take people in even if they don't have insurance. It's just the ways, because it used to be that if you went to emergency, they still saw you. They just billed you for it. So we'll see what happens. I think Donald Trump will make America great again. Give him the 4 years. This is only the first year. Give him 4 years. If he doesn't do what you want him to do as president, that's what the ballot is for. You vote him out. But I think he's going to do the next 3 years what he promised to do. And I know I'm long-winded on this, but I'm a deplorable. I believe I'm one of the silent majorities. I believe in Donald Trump. I believe in what he's doing. I believe in the first family. I believe in I believe on the people that he elected to the offices, our Attorney General, and I think they're all trying to do a good job under President Trump. I love saying that, President Donald Trump. People just hate that, and I just love it. I told everybody that's what the way it's going to be, and it's come to pass. He is our president. He's not going to get impeached, and he's not going to get. He's going to be the president for the next 3 years, and he will make America great again. Mm-hmm. Mark my word. And he's a man of his word. I believe him, and I believe he's a good man. We had a death from AC, is a country group, you said? Is AC?
Rock group.
A rock group, okay. Malcolm Young passed away. So we want to send our condolences to his family.
Here's a little bit of the song, George.
Okay. He's going to play a little of the song here on, I don't know if we'll be able to hear it on Facebook, but...
yeah, it's playing now.
Oh, it's playing now on the radio. So if you're listening...
We just can't hear it.
If you're listening to it on the radio, you'll listen to the song that he's playing.
All right, I'm cutting it out. Go ahead.
Okay, that was a little bit from Malcolm Young and AC. Let's see. I want to introduce our guest. Oh, I'll introduce our guest real quick. We have 1 minute left. It's Bart Miller. Bart, you're ex-Marine.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah.
you...
Never an ex-Marine.
Marine veteran. We'll go with that.
Marine for life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you served 2 tours in Iraq?
I did. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. And those were like a year and a half, 2 year tours?
7-month tours, fortunately.
7 months? Okay.
Combination of 14 months. So
well, you look in one piece, so you came
fortunately,
out of it.
yeah, definitely.
A lot of soldiers come back and they're
Yeah.
they're injured. They're they go through a lot.
Right.
Okay, we're going to be right back. We have Marcia Hill. Marcia, you want to say hi real quick before we go off?
Hi, I'm glad to be here, and we are now no longer a silent majority.
All right.
We are the loudmouth majority. We
All
got
right.
Trump in.
People, stay tuned. Don't go away. We have a short break, and we'll be right back with Marcia Hill and Bart Miller. Okay, I want to mention that, yes, one of our sponsors is Nexus Industries LLC. You can see the pictures. They do custom woodwork. He's a master craftsman. He gives reasonable prices for what he does. He makes benches. He makes those garage door sliders that you put in your house. He makes shelving, and he does iron work too. So he does a little bit of both, and he gives reasonable estimates. He's one of our sponsors. It's Cameron Ashley. His number is 480-212-3252. And contact him, call him, and tell him you heard about him on the Chips and Salsa show. He's one of our proud sponsors of the show. So, and then we're going to come back with the Cocotazo Award. That's going to be interesting. We got 4 good ones, and they're very interesting. Cocotazo Award is when, in the Spanish term, when somebody used to hit you over the head, it's just kind of for being dumb, and that's what cocotazo means. Some women got really good at it. They could do a slipper across the room and whack you with a slipper. So we call it cocotazo award, cocotazo, and they hit you over the head, just kind of get your attention, and that's because you're being dumb. So we have you could say the dumb award, and we got 4 of them. So we're going to announce it right when we come on our next segment, who they are, and then we'll announce the winner. I have my favorite, but we'll see. We'll go on Facebook. You could announce your own favorite after you hear who they are. I'll tell you who they are, and then I'll repeat it on our show. One is Senator Jeff Flake says Republicans may be toast, citing the party of Roy Moore and Donald Trump, and that was because he was caught off mic saying that he didn't. He was saying it to the mayor of Mesa. Off mic, he got off camera, and the mic was hot. It was a hot mic, but it was off camera, and he was mentioning it to the mayor of Giles. What's his name? The mayor of Mesa. Anyway, the last name is Giles. The other one is Melendez claims that the FBI investigated him because he's Latino. Cocotazo for him. Then, of course, the 6 Democrats that are pushing for the impeachment of Donald Trump, they need the Cocotazo Award big time. That's my favorite. And then the family fights to bring back holiday light display, and thanks to our Congressman Sal DeCiccio, they reversed their view on it.
1 minute.
They reversed their ruling on that. The city did, but the guy takes too long to set up the Christmas lights, so I don't think he's going to set them up. But they wanted to fine him for selling chocolate and also having to do with the parking in the neighborhood or something, which is ridiculous. The lights are beautiful. People love the lights, and to come up with stupid rules.
They shouldn't have moved there.
I know. They should. Yeah, the other people shouldn't have moved there because that's been going on for a long time, those lights. People love that, They would make it part of their Christmas thing to go by and watch the lights. And then the Democrats pushing for the impeachment of Donald Trump. There's 6 of them, and they file articles of impeachment.
Stand by.
That's a real cocotazo.
Waste of time.
Yeah, waste of time, waste of money. They don't have nothing else better to do.
Here we go.
Okay, so I'm really confused.
That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
I think I want a full thing of chips and salsa, not half. But yeah, welcome back to the Chips and Salsa Show. This is Jorge El Alacran without my great host Alice Lara today. But I'm doing this solo, so I'm having fun, and so are my guests. My guest here is Bart Miller.
Yeah, thanks for
A
having me.
Marine. I'll say not an ex-Marine, but a Marine. He served how many years?
I did just the 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, it was 4 real quick.
Wow, and you were able to go to Iraq 2 tours?
Yeah, they cram a lot of traveling in a short amount of time. So
Well, yeah, my son's been in there 5 years. He's gone to Kuwait. He's in Japan now.
Okay.
But what rank did you finally reach?
Out of the 4 years, I just went up to E3, which would be
E3.
Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps.
Okay, yeah, he
And,
made corporal in Kuwait.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so what do you think about Iraq?
Oh man, that's definitely an interesting place. Different culture, absolutely. It's one of the first things that stuck out. And going over there, the first deployment, well, the 2 different deployments had a different agenda each time. The mission was different, essentially. So on the first deployment in 2007, it was a lot more patrols in the city. We were in the city at an outpost, an OP is what they like to call it, that we ended up fortifying, and we were there with Iraqi police and Iraqi army, so we were doing joint command, essentially, joint operations with the 2 different units.
Was that the same time they did that when Petraeus sent in?
I remember Petraeus specifically more in the 2008-2009 time frame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first deployment was in 2007, and it was to a city called Ramadi.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Ramadi, Iraq. So fortunately, in 2007, it was calmed down a little bit. But the unit I was with, 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines, they it was when I went, it was their second time in a row going to the same city.
Oh wow.
And they had went in 2005 when there was elections going on, and it was very, very combative then, and a lot of things going on. So a lot of those guys, when they got over there for the second time, they're probably relieved that it wasn't quite as ramped up as in 2005. So, but
So was ISIS? No, ISIS wasn't.
nope, not at that time.
Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, Al-Qaeda was a little bit more of a talk, and just some smaller cells within the city was the kind of overall goal was to try to limit their freedom of movement.
Were they after Saddam at that time, or
No, by
they
that
had already-
time
they had already captured
they had
him?
already captured him. It was a time of kind of establishing relations with the locals there, as well as trying to go ahead and keep activity from any type of terrorist groups from infiltrating into the cities. You know, at this point we had good strongholds on the city.
Well, how many troops were there about that time, average? About?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you a number. I couldn't even give you a good
It
guess.
must have been thousands, right? Cause
easily,
we
yeah.
hadn't downsized at that time.
Right. Yeah. So my battalion was there. Easily, 1,000 or so Marines at that point. Not to mention anybody from the Air Force that would provide air support, and the Navy was there. Navy SEALs would do their own type of patrols in different sections of the city as well.
So what you see in the films is probably what it was like a little bit.
To a certain extent, yeah, it can help out. Definitely, Hollywood likes to add their little spice to things, which is fine. But yeah, it was a minimum of 2 patrols a day, foot patrols that is. So just over 200 patrols throughout the 7 months that we ended up going on. That was scheduled, and any little thing else from there.
So what was that? The city was what?
Ramadi, yeah.
Yeah, that's where ISIS finally took over afterwards, right?
Yeah, it was unfortunate, and there was a lot of comparison with what happened in Iraq to the Vietnam War, and a lot of the guys fighting, and ended up losing a lot of guys over there, all for what, in a sense, after we ended up backing out. I feel a little bit too soon. ISIS was able to go ahead and come on through, and now it's kind of starting back at step 1.
Wow. So would you recommend the service to young teenagers and guys out of high school and stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely would. I feel that by joining the service, doing that, it gives you, for me personally, a lot greater appreciation for this country, a lot greater appreciation just for everyday, things that we take for granted. I know it's a cliche. Other guys have talked about it, but it's true. I mean, you go over there, you're gone away from family, no contact. Your living conditions aren't the greatest. So
what about discipline? They're teaching discipline.
Discipline's definitely another part of it. You get a sense of it's okay to listen and not have to talk so much. So,
because you see a lot of Latinos, a lot of guys, Hispanic guys in the street, joining gangs, just hanging out, not having a direction. Doesn't the military, in a way, give you direction? Not going to war, okay, but actually going to boot camp, serving your 2, 3, or 3 years, I guess, is the minimum, right? What is it, 3 years?
Depending on the MOS, but yeah, you can guarantee 3 to 4 years is pretty much the standard.
I mean, they don't have to serve more than 4 years, but that teaches them discipline, gives them some education, so that when they come out, they could look for jobs. What do you do now? What's your type of work?
Now I'm a driving instructor for Volkswagen.
For Volkswagen?
Yeah, so...
Driving instructor, so you're...
Driving instructor, yes sir. So what that entails is not only it's a place that we hire test drivers to test drive pre-production vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and kind of working out the nicks and crannies before it hits the customer.
So you're test driving the cars.
That's the main goal of where I work at. Now it's my job to interview the individuals who want to test drive and make sure that they're safe test drivers, and then give them further advanced training from there and how to operate a vehicle and dynamics of a vehicle, and kind of nerd out a little bit when it comes to driving.
You're good with the Constitution, but what I understand, you've read the Constitution?
I've read the Constitution a couple of times,
A couple of times. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you think about our Constitution?
I'm a big fan of it. I like it a lot.
It's withheld the rigors of the years and the time. You think?
And
do you think we should? Should the Constitution be left the way it is, and then, or does it need improvement? Some Democrats feel that we can improve on the Constitution. I believe if it's lasted this long, and we, and I haven't read the Constitution like you have.
Sure.
I've read it off and on.
Don't give me too much credit yet.
So what do you think about it?
I'm a very big fan of it. I love the Constitution. I love this country. As you had mentioned earlier, the world wouldn't be where it is without the United States. That's a fact. You like what we've done in the past or not. As you mentioned, no country has a clean past, and some of the stuff isn't the greatest, but the way things are nowadays is really awesome with what this country's been able to do. And it's a sense, as you said, if it's not broke, why fix it? It seems as though we've gotten away from so many core values that made this country great in the first place. And I can understand, it's common for people to do that within their own lives. They have success and they kind of want to try different things and realize, hey, this doesn't work quite as well. Now let me come back home to what worked. And I feel that's kind of where we are now. A lot of socialism has been talked about, especially with the Democratic Party. I feel they're more socialist than Democratic Party these days. I, for one, feel there's already...
You think the professors at the college level and even at the high school level, they're teaching these kids to be socialists, to want everything for free.
Right.
That old style of working for what you earn. Excuse me, my phone is going off. Let me decline that. I don't know what that one's about. But anyway, my frame of mind is gone. But
the professors,
the professors in the high school and the college level, they're teaching more socialism and the socialist ideals where everything is free. You work for the state. It doesn't make sense because they've tried it in other countries and it doesn't work.
Right.
The Constitution spells out how we run a country, and if we just, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
And Marsha, what do you have to? We have Marsha Hill too here, and she's the cousin of Bart.
Yes, we are cousins, and
I know you're proud of your cousin.
I am. I've watched him since he was a baby.
Oh.
And
plenty
grown
of
up. And
snow
he was,
wedgies.
I used to give him wedgies because he wanted me to, so he
Hey,
grew out of that.
Yeah.
The Constitution is developed by brilliant men.
Right.
And why mess with it? I mean, it's like they talk about ethics, the ethics of this or that. The problem with ethics is ethics can change. The Constitution is right and right from the start, and it was worth fighting for.
I mean, it's lasted this long, and they have added amendments to the Constitution, but I think our Constitution is strong, and these guys are brilliant. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and now you're reading the Federalist Papers. What's all that about? Because I'm not too. I've heard of the Federalist Papers, but I haven't read them. So if you could just, I know you haven't read them all, or you haven't gone through them.
Just sort of diving into it.
Yeah, just give us a little.
Yeah, it's essentially the argument that was taken to adopt the Constitution. Why they wanted to adopt the Constitution that we have now, and that was the Federalist Papers.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't want to start commenting on it too much and then put my foot in my mouth about it. But that's primarily the reason for it. Yeah.
And you know what? We're going to have you in the future. It might be next year sometime. And after you've read the Federalist Papers, I want you to come in with
That'd be great.
What's that other gentleman?
Scott.
With Scott, because Scott's an expert with the Constitution and probably the Federalist Papers, right? Yeah. So we'll bring both of you in, and we'll just go at it. Right now, we're going to go for another break with the Chips and Salsa show. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We have the Deplorables coming in on the show, and we're going to see if Bart's going to run for office here. We've got to ask him. So stay tuned to the Chips and Salsa show. Come right back. Don't go away. We'll come back in about 2 minutes while we go on a commercial break. Thank you.
All right, clear.
Okay.
Oh, totally. Did you know that?
Okay.
I still got that book, Federalist Papers. Went back, I got that.
Yeah.
You gotta agree with
Yeah.
I think
Why
Lawrence
don't
was a little
you
easier to read or
move
something.
over with Sonia?
There's that in the Anti-Federalist Papers as well.
Really? I didn't know
The
that.
Anti-Federalists is the guys on the opposite side who are arguing against the Constitution. So.
That I didn't know. It was like,
Yeah.
check on to that. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that are.
You have to share the mic.
Where's the chips and salsa? Monique, you
I
like it?
know.
I didn't bring any this time.
I was expecting.
Yeah, Sonia's the one that makes us our chips and salsa. And I want to make mention of our other sponsor. Yeah, he is. We're gonna play one of the songs a little later during our other break. But it's One Truth with J.C. Gonzalez. Go to iTunes, download one of their songs. I like Inferno, and they're a progressive rock group from Virginia. And we encourage you to listen to some of their music. They're one of our sponsors. They've been our sponsor for a couple of years, and we love their song. And sooner or later, we're going to get JC to come out here with his crew and be on our show. So, but in a few minutes, we're going to have the Deplorables speaking. So we're going to see what what they have to say. Ooh, Trump shoes. I like those Trump shoes.
Step in the right direction.
Did we get those? Did we get that on the thing? The Deplorables have Trump shoes. I love it.
I'm obsessed with buying Trump. Hi, darling.
So just
Hola.
and you could share on the page. I haven't started sharing. Usually when I share, it jumps a few. I just haven't.
If it were Twitter, I don't know how to share Twitter. How do I Twitter it out? How do I do it?
Just copy the link to it and paste it to Twitter. So the
Oh, okay. Cool.
usually
Yeah.
Okay, so but it has to be a Facebook link, right?
so
I read that from that email. Yeah. In the Phoenix area, yeah. Mm-hmm.
usually it's where the photo
Right here.
Oh, we already have 55 views so far.
Mm-hmm.
My poor friend, my friend would be perfect to.
Oh, Ryan Seacrest accused of something.
He works for BMW.
Accused of what?
I don't know, just
The biggest dealer
Probably
there.
the same thing they're accusing all these other men
George,
of.
1 minute.
Okay.
Mm.
And he went to Hellenbach for the 6 months before the election. They alienated him,
Is it conservative? Like
Yeah, I've heard about a lot of those issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the difference between the two parties, it seems like, is if you support someone on the left, you love, and if you support somebody on the right, they shame you and want to just push you on out. And yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, George. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Oh,
Here we go.
Yes, you can listen to. Everybody can listen to the Chips and Salsa. Welcome back to the Chips and Salsa show with your host, Jorge El Alacran. I got bit by a scorpion last year, so I've learned that title of the Alacran. Plus, I'm a deplorable. I'm one of Hillary's original deplorables because she called everybody deplorables that liked Donald Trump. But you know what? We have a lot more deplorables. In fact, in the studio today, we have the Deplorable Latinas. Ta-da! Drum roll, please. One is Monica, and the other one is Terry. Monica Yellen and Terry Mendoza. You want to introduce yourselves?
sure, I go by La Comadre on Deplorable
Oh,
Latinas.
La
I know it
Comadre.
all, and if I don't, I pretend to know it all. So
Oh,
careful
okay.
with me. But yes, Moni and I met during the campaigning, and La Comadre, you can find me on Twitter, XDemLatina, and Facebook as well, and I'm happy to be here with Moni.
Could you repeat that one more time? The link?
The link, my handle on Twitter is XDemLatina.
XM Latina.
XDem, as in...
XDem.
XDem as in away from the Democratic plantation.
You used to be a Democrat?
Lifelong Democrat.
Oh,
I
my
switched
God.
parties because you have to switch to vote for
Right.
the party they vote for here. So I called myself a Trumplican. But
Trumplican.
I'm a card-carrying Republican.
Welcome to the party.
As of the
We
primaries.
love crossovers because you know what? You end up being a better voice than me, who's been a Republican for over 30 years, and I mean, they're strong. They're strong because it took a lot to make them jump to the other side. It had to take a leap of faith to actually become a Republican because
Yeah.
and you're Terry Monica. No, you're Monica. You're Terry. Okay, got it. I think I'll remember that. The Alacran blood in me makes me forget. So, how did you become a Republican? Or were you a Republican already?
I have been all my life a
Oh.
conservative. I come from Colombia, South
Oh.
America.
All
Came to the
right.
United States in '98, and when I came to the United States, I said the closest thing to a conservative is a Republican. So I registered Republican as soon as I became a citizen in 2005.
Good for
I
you.
remember I went to my my citizenship ceremony, and as soon as it finished, I drove so fast as I could, to the Board of Elections, and I registered Republican. And I'm very proud of being a
thank you.
Republican immigrant, and I love this country.
And I know you're a proud Republican. Okay. We're gonna have the Cocotazo Award. What we call a Cocotazo, you probably already know what a Cocotazo is when somebody acts stupid and you just go behind their head and just go, wake up. Well, we have a Cocotazo Award that what we have is it's called the Cocotazo Award, and we give it to really stupid people in the news. And so I have 4 of them, and I'm going to mention those. Senator Jeff Flake says Republicans may be toast, citing the party of Robert Moore and Donald Trump. What happened? He was caught off camera, but the mic was hot, and he was talking to the mayor of Mesa, and the mayor of Mesa said, "Have you considered running for president in 220?" And that's what he said off mic, is that the Republican Party are toast, and he called it the party of Roy Moore and Donald Trump. But he didn't know the mic was on. So that's a cocotazo, because that's a dumb statement.
Well, you probably give that to him every week, though, because Jeff Flake, let me tell you, I'm still waiting for him to come out against Al Franken.
I know,
he hasn't said anything, neither has Mitt Romney. So talk about hypocrisy and double standards. Flake, the best thing he did for Arizona is dropping out, but he just didn't want his butt kicked by a woman.
Yeah, he was going down in the polls. The other one is Melendez claims the FBI investigated him because he's Latino. Come on. He did a lot of bad things.
Who?
Melendez, the congressman.
Melendez?
Yeah.
Oh, it had nothing to do with the 14-year-old prostitutes he purchased in Dominican Republic?
Right.
And the 18 charges of corruption?
Yeah, they had 18 charges
Race
of corruption.
card denied.
So he's trying to say that it's because he's Latino, so that's a cocotazo. Then another one, and this one is, you'll love this one, is the Democrats, the 6 Democrats that are pushing for Trump's impeachment. They did articles of impeachment the other day. He hasn't even been found guilty of collusion, where they're saying it was collusion and stuff. You can't cite articles of impeachment unless you have something hard evidence against the person, especially the President of the United States. So to me, that's a big cocotazo, those 4 Democrats. And the other one is the family that fights back to bring the holiday lights displays. And thanks to our councilman, Sal DeCiccio, the city went ahead and said that he can go ahead and, they weren't going to, I think it was for parking in the neighborhood and also selling chocolate to the people. And it was ridiculous. And we might not see those lights because it takes too long to set them up. He might set some lights up, but that's ridiculous. So anyway, those are the 4 Cocotazo Awards, and my vote is going to be those 6 Democrats. But Menendez, that's a Cocotazo Award. Jeff Flake is a big Cocotazo Award. So we got a bunch of Cocotazos here that we're going to have to really think about it, and we'll announce it in a little while. So, what is the Deplorable Latinas? Could you elaborate a little bit? I heard you guys had a little program of your own and stuff.
Well, we were approached to do the show by deplorableradio.net, which is online. It has different radio shows, and we were doing the YouTube so they can take the audio, but we decided let's just do, YouTube video. So they take the audio, put it in at deplorableradio.net. Most of us met during the campaign on Latinos for Trump, on Twitter, Facebook, anything, and we all are really grassroots. It was all grassroots. None of us are Russian that I know of yet.
No connection, huh?
No connections, but we just, we really decided that it's an opportunity to grow a voice for Latinas. Even though they came and gave us that platform, we're going to go ahead and try to, especially build the YouTube and the brand. And it's amazing to me because most conservative, conservatives are the ones that have been legalized, that come here legally. Wow. And I'm the one that was born here, and I, Democrat all my life.
So there's 3 of you or 2 of you?
There's 4 of us.
4 of you. And do you guys come together to do your shows? Or is it just, or you just do like
We do it every Wednesday, and we do it from home, and we get together online. We use a very good application. It's called Hangouts. So that's how we get together every week.
Every Tuesday. One's in Pennsylvania,
Tuesday, yes,
2 in Arizona, and then 1 in California.
So how do you girls get together with the ones out of
Google Play or Google Hangouts or something like that? Yeah. Google Hangouts. Technology is great. It really is great. You know, if it weren't for technology, I probably wouldn't have been involved in the campaigning. But it's.
What do you girls think about this Roy Moore thing, and then Al Franken, and all these women coming out of the woodwork accusing these men? What do you? Because you guys are women, and what do you think about all? Is it a trend that's coming out now, or is it? It only happens with Republicans. I mean, it happened with Bill Clinton, and they wanted to destroy those women. Now they want to put these women on pedestals, and you know. And then Al Franken, I don't know about him. They got a picture. Roy Moore, they don't have evidence. It's accusers accusing him.
I'm holding back. I'm letting Monica go because I'm very opinionated. So I'm
okay,
holding back.
That's what we want. We want an opinionated.
Don't get me started.
I think this is a trend. This is happening, and everybody is speaking about it. I believe that it's very unacceptable what Al Franken did. It's unacceptable, and we heard somebody else coming out as
right,
well.
Another one.
It's not just the picture, and who knows what happened when this picture was taken. We don't know. But with Roy, I am kind of hesitant with him. Why? When I heard the interview with Hannity, he sounded guilty to me.
Oh, really?
He sounded like he's kind of wishy-washy the way he's speaking. But when you start digging further, and you see the timing of it, and when you look at the pictures of the yearbook signature and the 7 numbers, and you hear the interview that Gloria Allred had with MSNBC, and she was I'd never seen her nervous, and to me, she was nervous, and she didn't know what to say. So these things made me doubt. And the other thing that made me doubt was Nelson's stepson came out and made a video and said that she's lying. So when you hear these things and when you see these things, you question. But again, he sounded not credible and wishy-washy on the interview.
Okay, so I'll make it short. All this got started, remember, with Weinstein, with the big, huge Democratic donator, and a lot of the big Hollywood people going down. So this didn't start with Roy Moore. Roy Moore comes along, I'm sorry, but there's something called October Surprise. Mitch McConnell spent $30 million to take Roy Moore down. They started the opposition research and couldn't find anything. The Democrats came in and did what they always do. I can't believe people are even believing this is real. As soon as Gloria Allred came out, we knew it was fake. Period. So that's my take on it. ACL, you try to went after him for 10 years. You don't think they would have come up with something? 10 years for the 10 Commandments in this courthouse, and nothing came up?
Right.
I don't think so.
This
I haven't been a Republican this long, but I know that most recently this was done to the president, now our president of the United States.
Yeah, because they tried to do it to
Dirty
Trump.
Dents.
They tried they tried to do it to Trump, but he was able to get around it because of that taping from that radio program.
He denied it, and he said, "I'll sue you. Keep it up. Same thing. Keep fighting.
They stopped.
Keep fighting more. If you can hear me, Atlanta, please vote him in." Alabama.
And you know what? To me, the Democrats are hypocrites because now they're just saying Al Franken is gonna. Okay, what they're saying with Al Franken is that he's got to go before ethics panel. That takes months and months and months, and they'll drag it on. He's not going to get punished.
Which means they're going to warehouse the issue. Yeah. What are they going to do? Pass around the picture ethics review? That's all it is. They're going to warehouse the issue, and nothing's going to be done. He needs to step down. Period.
Okay. We're going to come right back, but I wanted to introduce one of our sponsors for this segment is One Truth. Here's their song Inferno.
short.
That was One Troop. That was Inferno, one of their songs. They got a bunch of songs. Inferno, you can get the song from iTunes. So go to iTunes, download the song. You'll love it like I do. And like a lot of people have heard it. They're a progressive rock group from Virginia. They have been our sponsor for a couple of years. And we'll be back with more of the Chips and Salsa show when we come back. I think maybe we should cue that other microphone and give it to let them share it. Would that work?
We'll do that? Okay.
Yeah, because I want to have Marsha Hill and Bart come in a little bit with some of their views too, so we're gonna have a free for all here.
We're all on the same side.
Well, I wanted some of your views too on the women, the women aspect of this, because we're gonna go into the Cocotazo Award. I'm gonna announce the award. Do we have anybody online about the Cocotazo Award? No comment on that? Like last week? Okay. Because that lady had brought up another Cocotazo nomination, and that was the one that ended up winning.
Well, I want to nominate a Cocotazo.
Okay. Okay, let's wait the show start.
Yeah. I am the one in our show that is always doing what he's doing. I'm like,
I know she's the one that's like, because one is Cuban, one is just loud from the hood.
and I'm always the one sending a text to the others who sending messages.
And the thing is, I just heard another Cocotazo nomination. This lady is selling sex for nachos.
That's capitalism. What's wrong with that?
They have to be really good nachos.
I was looking at my Facebook.
Do they have jalapenos?
I thought that's a good Cocotazo one.
The Cocotazo is for whoever knows that she's selling sex for nachos.
Yeah. Cocotazo.
Think about it.
So funny.
Selling sex for.
Because they're like in the north part of Colombia, they use that all the time, the cocotazos.
The Cocotazo?
Oh, I thought nachos for sex.
I was like that. This is behind the scenes now,
it's
people.
It's hard with the drug trafficking that slowed down. It's nachos for sex now.
Nachos for sex.
In Colombia.
No, but it's become popular, the Cocotazo Award that we have, because we were talking about slippers, tossing a slipper across the room.
El chanclazo.
Yeah, el chanclazo.
Chanclazo.
Yeah, the Chanclazo Award, yeah. And then Iraq, they threw a shoe at President George Bush when he was.
I remember.
One reporter threw a shoe.
He had a good reflex.
And that's like the Cocotazo Award, but that was over some dumb thing. But the Cocotazo Award, that was dumb.
So let's be honest. Jeff Flake is on this list every week, and McCain must be too.
Yeah, McCain too.
They're embarrassing.
They ought to be ousted.
I looked into it. We can't do anything about McCain.
Yeah, he's gonna withdraw on his own.
I pray for him daily.
I do.
And he's gonna.
I pray he gets hit by a bus.
I know he's not gonna run. I know he's not gonna run. And
we've got
finding somebody to fill his seat is gonna be. I think that's already in the works and stuff. I just want to see who else comes out.
Did you see him come out in a wheelchair now? Now that he's tied to all these fusion GPS and
I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, now he's just like Jesse Jackson got accused of sexual harassment. Hours later, he has Parkinson's disease.
I know, it's like
Hillary's gonna be sick soon because she's coming up on charges.
Yeah, right when it goes to the special counsel,
she's gonna hit her head, and she
all of a
can't
sudden
remember
she's gonna be Hillary just hit her head in the kitchen, and she can't really remember a lot of stuff now, and we all feel sorry.
All right, George, 10 seconds.
10 seconds. 10 seconds, people. This is our third segment. Hey, we're going running right along here. There's free water here if anybody wants water.
I wanted just some salsa.
Because that's my nature.
Hey, because we're Cubans and Puerto Ricans, we're all talking about him.
Are you Cuban?
I like the one with the fancy hat myself. This is Jorge. I'm Puerto Rican, by the way.
Oh, Puertorriqueño.
De Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico. And we're talking here behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. This is the Chips and Salsa show. This is Jorge. back with the Chips and Salsa show without my co-host Alice. She'll be back next week. She's in Kingman with the family. They're going to see her father-in-law who's sick, and so we wish him well. We wish him safety on the road. So Alice will be here next week. And with us we have Marcia Hill and her cousin Bart Miller. They were our previous guests on our first segment, and Marcia has a mic now so she can speak. And we have the two deplorable Latinas with us, Terry and Monica. And Monica, you're Monica. Yeah, you're from Colombia. You talk with your hands too, like we do. In Puerto Rico, we talk with our hands. Cubans talk with their hands, and Mexicans just talk straight out.
Yeah.
Sometimes with their hands too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
throat punch here and there.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see two Latinas and a Latino over there with Bart. He's half Latino. I love seeing Hispanics coming on our show and speaking about their feelings towards the stuff that's going on. We had the Cocotazo Award, and Terry, you were gonna,
La Comadre. You can call me La Comadre.
La Comadre. Well, you had one that you were going to add to the list.
I would like to nominate the Hispanic Caucus. What is it? Coalition? Is that what the
Hispanic Caucus?
Yes, they rejected representative from Florida.
Yeah.
The Senator Cubelo.
Because
he does not share their values.
How could you're a Hispanic coalition, and you have to be inclusive. It can't be just Democrats only. Was he a Democrat?
He's a Republican. 22% of Congress is Hispanic, and no Republicans on the Hispanic
coalition.
It's like the equivalent of the Black Caucus.
Right. It's a Hispanic
so they
coalition.
didn't like his stand on tax reform or the fact that he wanted to repeal Obamacare and his stand on DACA.
Do you think if he agreed with them, they'd give him a spot in the Hispanic coalition?
I think they need to be honest with themselves and change their name to the Democratic Hispanic Caucus Coalition. Yeah. I did make a short list for them since I went on their website to look at what their values are.
Okay.
Which says nothing about their progressive attitude. So here's a new list, which I am insisting the Hispanic Caucus immediately adapt so that we know what their values are. Number one, you must be okay and being complicit with criminal activity and lawlessness, i.e. illegal immigration for starters. You must be for open borders. You must be okay with socialized health care that only works if you don't. You must want government to legislate morality, and if you don't agree, you are a racist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic, white supremacist, Nazi, KK sympathizer. And you must, and add on to the list, and you must want to keep less of your money and give it to the government, because we all know that the government spends our money better. Don't you think that's?
I like that.
And and it's an honest. Just claim it. Be honest. Stop pretending you're for Latinos. My goal in life has become to take more and more people out of the Democratic plantation that gives you lip service and come to the conservative side, because Ronald Reagan was right. Latinos, we are conservative. We just don't know it yet.
Right, and that's I've believed that since Ronald Reagan that Latinos are conservatives by birth. I mean, they raise you to take care of the family, to be conservative, to everything the conservatives believe in. Latinos believe in it, and it's not only Latinos but blacks too. You know, I think you got to be truthful to yourself, and the Democrats try to divide everybody, and that's wrong. They're obstructionists. They divide people by race. You know, racial inequality and everything wasn't as bad as our previous president that just left office. He brought racism back as a war type thing, and now you have Black Lives Matter. You have people against the police officers.
Brown berets are making a comeback.
You know, it's crazy because it started disappearing. Mm-hmm. People started believing in each other, and there's people that needed to be straightened out. There was police officers, maybe they were crossing the line, but it wasn't all officers. It wasn't all police officers. It wasn't all races. I mean, you know, he made it worse, you know, and it's sad. And I'm hoping that our president, Donald J. Trump, brings America back together.
We divide. When we're divided,
Yeah.
we fall. And that's exactly what the previous president wanted us to do,
Right.
was fall for the New World Order.
And I really believe that. I want to give the Cocotazo Award. Mine is the Democrats that are pushing for the Trump impeachment, because that was so stupid on the White
But
House
that's
lawn.
literally the 5th time they do it.
But that's
It's
about
comedy
the 5th time.
now.
And I like yours. We're gonna let the people vote. You know, send us your votes on this, because we got a good. I'm gonna vote for the 6 Democrats. Let's see, Menendez. Yeah, he's just a dummy. Jeff Flake's always a Cocotazo Award. So I think the 6 Democrats, and yours comes very close, Terry. I like yours, and maybe there'll be a tie. With the 2. How about that? We'll end it in a tie. The Cocotazo Award. We're gonna come right back with the chip. No. Oh,
What?
the show has come to an end. I thought we had another segment, people, but that's why Alice is here. She keeps me right on cue. But anyway, stay tuned next week to the Chips and Salsa show. Alice will be back. We have, I don't know who the guests are going to be, but we had beautiful guests today. We had fantastic guests with the Deplorable Latinas. What's the way they can contact you?
Deplorable Latinas on YouTube is probably follow us and subscribe to our growing channel, and we have.
And we are on Twitter. We
Yes.
are on Twitter. And
The
you can
Right
find
View
us
at the right.
at Right Latinas.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're going to have you back on the show, because, I mean, there's so much to talk about, and there'll probably be more to talk about next year. And Bart, you got to come back.
Absolutely.
Marsha,
Thank
you
you
got to
very
bring
much.
him back, and we're going to have you run for office. You're going to run for something.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're your
councilman
new
or something.
consultants. We're starting a company soon.
There you go.
I saw that.
There you go. So come back to the Chips and Salsa
Nachos
show next
included.
week. So next Saturday, 4 p.m. And thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
He's awesome.
That's it. It
Can
went
we
so
hire you for
quick.
hours?
Boy, that went fast.
I know.
I know.
That last segment went right over.
I know, it was like this was
It's funny what you're talking about with the Hispanics always being Republican. They just don't know it yet, because my grandparents on my mom's side is the Hispanic side, and for the longest time it